Okay, welcome back. This will be the third or fourth time that I've tried to live stream this. For whatever reason, I keep getting 70% dropouts. So I had to go back in and I'm using OBS and redo my settings. So welcome to my channel. This is the big stream bigger. My name is Don. I was doing Vlogtober and now I am just producing shows because that was the whole purpose of this anyway. I'm going to keep looking off to my side because I am monitoring the drop frames, at least what percentage. And so far I'm on a good 0 drop frames. I have a good connection. I tested my connection with speed tests this morning and I have close to 500 megabits per second. Which is great. And then I think I have over about 100 for the uploads. And so that should be enough, but you know, we'll see. I'm just using one stream. I'm not multi-streaming. So this one goes out to I guess the main one I'm doing right now, which is YouTube. And this won't be going over to Rumble anytime soon, but I'll start producing content through Rumble because of the restreaming. So my name is Don. Welcome to my channel. And today's talkback is, and this is mostly a talkback, and it's going to be a ramble. I apologize if you don't like sitting through long, but I'm here to talk about equipment. And recently the Rode video switcher got released. And while I find it to be a very pleasing looking video switcher, at $1,200 for what it offers, I gotta kind of laugh. And looking at the YouTubers that are out there and the people doing the reviews, it's I mean, do we have nobody that criticizes things? Or are they all, let's just say, compromised because they can't really say that the value for what it does is not there, or else they wouldn't get any more Rode products. But today I'm here to show you or talk to you about how to put together a live streaming budget studio and what you can afford in comparison to that, you know, putting out $1,200 for one item. Really, it's kind of 1.3 items because the Rode switcher also has audio integration, which to me isn't a big deal because mixers, modern mixers, particularly I use a Mackie as well as a USB interface, and I have some other audio tools, and we'll go over that. So I guess come along and, you know, figure out what you can afford for $1,200. So I do have this set up for switching, and because I have a little, might as well bring that one up right now. Let's see, let's go ahead and put me in. You like that? We get the PNP here, the picture-in-picture. Let's see. Okay. Let's go back to here real quick. So this is the Osee GoStream M2. As you can see, it's already been unboxed. And it's currently in use. And this is the little mini switcher that I'm using in the studio right now. You can pick it up for, let's see, I got too many mice here with me. And so far, 0 drop frames. For $129, and usually there is also a $20, $25 discount on this sucker, on this one, which makes it about $100. I'm going to put this into my little calculator here on the side. Let's go ahead and bring that up, and we'll switch. So I put a calculator over here so we can just follow along, and oh, I'm throwing these boxes away. So I can follow along. I'm going to include the discount in there because that's what I paid for it and what it normally is at. Because it right now it's $129 on Amazon, but there's usually a $20, $25 discount when you buy it. So I'm going to put, I bought it for 105, and then we're going to go here. Now, this is a great little switcher. It's just a basic 2 HDMI input. What's great about it is its portability. The package comes with a little mini case in case you do traveling and you do live streaming outside of your studio. I don't plan on doing that, so I'm not showing you it, but it's got 2 HDMI inputs, and from there I have one OBS bot tail air going into it, and another one is a HDMI. The other HDMI is a little mini PC that I love quite a bit. And then I have a HDMI output, which is going to a splitter and splitting the single off into my external monitor. Let's see if this will follow me far enough. Nah. A little external monitor over here, plus a second video switcher at a different tech table. This also has a USB-C out, which goes into your computer, which is what I'm using to bring it into OBS on a little LG laptop. Works fantastic. I haven't had any problems with it. Switching is fun and pretty much easy and versatile. You could do so many things with this guy. It is, well, I won't say so many things, but you can do everything that you could possibly want to do. And as you can see, let's see the little switching. Yeah, no, I do wish it would have had, you have these black, when you're zoomed out and you're using this as two sources coming at the same time. There's no background. There's no way of making color or putting some color in there, which is too bad because I think that would actually work out quite a bit. And let's see, go back to this one. And it gets power from your PC as well. The only problem I had with this is, actually there's one problem and one, I won't say it's a problem, but it was an annoyance. The problem was the HDMI cable, the USB cable that came with it. I immediately had problems with it. It did a little bit of troubleshooting, found out that for whatever reason, it wasn't sending the signal properly. It would break up, it would turn purple. So switch that out for a better cable, and it works perfect. Second thing that I noticed about it is that it gets super hot. And while it's supposed to get hot, I mean, it is doing a lot for such a small little box. Because, I mean, it's only like that big. Matter of fact, why am I not bringing it up over here? Let's see. Let's get over here. You can see just a nice little, tiny little box. I fixed the heat issue by bringing it up off the table a bit and allowing air to flow freely underneath. Not a big deal, just more of an annoyance. It also has 2 audio inputs, which I use. I take audio coming out from the mini PC straight into it, so that way I don't have to, because it does automatically audio follows video when you do switching, which is fine. For most cases, there's no reason to care about that. But I like the audio to be, I like to be able to control the audio no matter what. So I have the audio coming into, on a 3.5 and then going, and then using the USB-C to go into the OBS, and it works perfect. I absolutely love this. Recommend it. You usually pick it up for about $100, and if you're just getting into it and you want something quick and easy, that's your device. So next up, let's go ahead, and while we're doing this, is my not that one, is my second switcher, which is again, let me go ahead. Ha! Am I holding this right? Yes. It's the Osee GoStream Deck. And this is a fantastic video switcher. I recently saw it on Amazon for $239, which usually means that a new version is going to be coming out soon, or they're getting rid of inventory. So $239. Right now, you can pick it up for $295, and this thing is fantastic. You can't get anything better than that for the cost. Let's see. Let's go over this. Let's go ahead and switch back. So, before I do that, let's go ahead and bring this up. And then, so right now it's $295, and I found it for $239. But we got this plus $295, and then equals. So right now we're at $400 for two switchers. Compared to the Rode's $1,200 price tag. Let's go ahead and go back to here. It's pretty much a full-featured switcher. You have audio. That's not very good. Good image. Okay. So things I like about this switcher is you have audio, control over your audio. Not like you're going to be adding a graphic equalizer or things like that, but you can mute, you can increase the volume, decrease the volume, that kind of stuff at the touch of a button. Now, the Rode doesn't have that. Rode has a very clean appearance, but part of the beauty of the switcher is to be able to quickly access your stuff instead of digging through menus to be able to do that. So these are the audio controls. These are your macros. You could set up certain picture-in-picture that you like and that kind of stuff for quick access. This is how you access the menu, which is very comprehensive and easy and quick to navigate. These are your record and play functions because this thing accepts SD cards, and so you could have a video on here, and you could also do record. You can have your green screen image with your logo on here, and then not on here, but on this SD card. This would be for your green screen and other things that you take on air, like your super source and regular, cut, fade, switch. It's nice to have a physical dial to fade between sources, but that seems kind of antiquated and takes up a lot of space. It's not really necessary anymore. These are your sources. You have 4 HDMI sources. These buttons are your preview and your program. And for easy switching, you have auxiliary. You have 4 HDMI. Let me get a good image of this. Do I get a good image? Let's see. I don't remember if... I don't think this particular one shows the back. Yeah, it doesn't really matter. So you have 4 HDMI inputs and 1 webcam USB-C input. You have USB-C out as well, which can go straight to your computer. You don't need a capture card or anything like that. You have 2 more HDMI, one for your preview out, so you can preview what you're going to be doing and what you're switching, and your program, which is your actual show. And then, of course, power. And then you have 2 audio inputs, just 3.5, and then 1 headphone. Love it. Love this box. The only problem I had was the headphone out. For whatever reason, I haven't pulled the cable or anything. Has that annoying where it'll only play stereo if it's sitting in one position. Kind of annoying, but I put a adapter into it, so I don't have to touch it, and that goes into a mixer in case I want to get the audio into the mixer and then take that into something else. Yeah, this thing's great. Does 1080 just like the Rode does. On its output, the menus are quick access. The buttons, you have so many options for the buttons, and it's $295, a quarter of what the Rode costs. And if the Rode offered 4K, and I can understand why they don't, but if they offered 4K, then there might be some extra value there. Most people would stream at 1080 in order to make sure that their streams are good. And everybody is really watching YouTube and things like that using their phone, so 4K is overkill for the most part. 1080, I mean, that's just standard and still quality, but I recommend it. It is actually one of my best buys. So these two switchers from Osee are fantastic. $400 right here for just the two. That's a third of the cost of the Rode video switcher, and so that leaves me another $800 to spend on things for your live streaming. And I can go more into depth on what the GoStream Deck does. I mean, because you don't even need a computer. You could go straight out and that kind of stuff to the internet by putting your stream keys or whatever. There's other videos for that. This and that. This is just to add up a budget and see what you can buy. Okay. So let's go back. And let me take this off real quick. We don't need that one anymore. Let's see. We don't need that one. Okay. So at the very beginning, before I knew about the Osee, I got the YOLObox Mini. I like it, but it has hangups. And yeah, the YOLObox Mini, for those who don't know, is a video switcher. It's Android based. Basically it's a very thick Android tablet that has two inputs, one USB, one HDMI. So you could have, let's say you can get the Pocket 3 going into it and a 4K camera, or 1080 because it only does 1080 output. And everything's built into it. The interface is all built into a monitor because it is an Android tablet. Let's go ahead and zoom through here. I'm not going to include this in the cost because I actually don't use it. I paid $700 for it, $698. Not worth it. Overpriced for what it is. I like it, but it has problems. Let's go ahead and go through this. You can also, this works without a computer as well. So you can set up your stream keys to go straight out from the box. So if you're on a shoot somewhere, this is an adequate box if you could trust it. You have two audio inputs, 3.5, as well as one headphone. And it's powered through USB, which is also nice. You could also use this USB to program out, but then you're relying on the battery of the device, which it lasts for several hours, so that's nice. It also has you could put a SIM card into it, so really you could take it anywhere. And it does take an SD card. Things I like about it are the switching is great. It has a timer built in and a countdown. So those are nice to have on hand because which I wish this was in Osee because it should be pretty standard. It should have a built-in countdown and maybe assign that to a macro or whatever. And maybe a mini titler, because if I can, set up super sources and masking in the Osee, then there should be like a basic titler, either something that allow me to put things into lower thirds. you know, but it doesn't have it. But this, the Yellow Box does, and I like it. And if it worked all the time and consistently, it would be amazing. However, sometimes, and I would say too often, it decides it doesn't want the HDMI, or it decides it doesn't want the webcam, or it decides it doesn't want both of them. And then what I found is the current update, which I sent a email to the company, and I just got a standard answer back saying, "Oh, shut off and restart," that kind of stuff. But the current update seems to cause specifically the HDMI not to function properly. It doesn't want to recognize devices that have been plugged into it for since I got it. And because of that untrustworthiness, I've pretty much taken it out of my live streaming set, and I just use it to have a DJI Action 4 going into it for an overhead shot, in case I do product reviews, which I don't plan on doing product reviews, but you know, it's an option. Great idea, but not quite there. If I can't trust it, then what's the point of having it? Unlike the Osee, which has not once caused me a single problem, has recognized everything that I've pull in and pull out of it. It's just an amazing thing. This one, I would say pass. But I mean, it has a lot of great features. It has replay. It has live streaming. The titling, scorecards, countdown. You can invite guests, so you can actually use a phone to add a third source coming into it. Yeah, no, I mean, it's just not great. Yeah, no, I like it, but so that was a waste of let's just say $700. So if anyone wants it for 300, out of here. Okay, so now we got the GMK Tech Mini PC N97. I got this because I wanted to have a second source coming in that wasn't a camera to my little mini M2 Osee M2 switcher, and because I always feel that when you add too many things into OBS, particularly if you're adding Google Chrome, God, if you're adding a browser to it and you have too many pages open, then the whole process can slow down quite a bit. So I picked this thing up for, what did I pick it up for? $179. I think I got it for $160 or something like that, $159. So generally you can find this at a discount. Absolutely great little device. It comes with Windows pre-installed. As you can see, it's Windows 11 is on it. Let's see, slower but efficient Intel chip, the N97. I'm not editing on it, and I'm not doing graphics other than maybe Adobe Express. But even Adobe Express, the new update's kind of sucky, but that's for something else. It does have 12 gigabytes of RAM, 256 gigabyte hard drive. Totally worth it. It has 2 HDMI outs. Let's see, is it over here? Do we got images over here of what's in it? Okay, let's pull this up. Okay, so we got all this. Bluetooth obviously is in it, but if it doesn't have Bluetooth, then why would it? Shouldn't even be offered. Let's see. Nope. Okay, here's what we need. So you have 2 HDMI outputs on this thing. It's powered through a USB see, but it is a brick, which is nice. It doesn't have an internal battery. It does have one audio, 3.5 for headphones or headset. It has Ethernet in. It has 3 USB 3.2 um, inputs and power, and very simple. It's in line with the switcher, and that's what I'm using right now for. Oops, wrong one. This is pretty much what I'm using right now to go into the M2, and yeah, no, I highly recommend this. So right now it's $179. I don't know if there's a coupon. It's 5%, so I guess $169 or something like that. So we're gonna put this at plus $169. So we're at $569, and we're not even halfway to how much the Rode video switcher costs. So recommend to buy. As long as your expectations is to just play back videos, because if I want to, let's say I want to, capture a movie and play back clips from that device, it's perfect. I can put a USB stick into it. Like I said, I'm not planning on putting the latest DaVinci Resolve on it or even Premiere Pro or Photoshop. I mean, that would be stupid. It's not for that. But for what it does, outstanding. I highly recommend buying one of these little mini PC and putting it in line with your video switcher. Let's see. Although you end up having too many keyboards once you do that, though, so that is a negative. But yeah, I mean, little juggling and multitasking with what you got, as long as you can remember which keyboard goes to what and which mouse goes to who, then you're fine. Yeah. So let's see what we got next. Let's go back to me. Haha. You guys want me, right? Okay. Next up. Oh yeah, the toner microphone boom arm. Let's see. Okay. Comes in a box. Empty box right now. It's just a boom arm for your mic. Low profile. You can see it right here in the shot. I hope they don't put too much. This thing's great. I paid $20 for it. I think in here they have it for 33. But matter of fact, let's go ahead and I want to do something low profile. Okay. Okay. $33 with the 15% discount. I got it for 20 bucks. And I ended up getting 3 of them. Absolutely worth it. Fantastic buy. Sure, it's not Rode's boom mic, or what's the other popular one that's out? There's a couple of Elgato. Those are very industrial looking, very heavy, and nice. But they also cost $150 easily, $150, whatever it is. I don't care. This thing's 20 and 15% off. So we're going to say this one's 30. So let's go ahead and switch that. And we're going to put plus 30 for a low profile boom arm. Yeah, I'm not swinging from it, so there's no reason why it should break. The springs on it, let's go see if we got some images. Yeah. Yeah, it's exactly what you'd expect. The springs work great. The device, the thing, I mean, I've got no complaints about it. It swivels when you want it to swivel. It moves when you want it to move, and it doesn't make noise. And I'd much rather pay $20 for something than this is the same one though. Let's see. This one isn't the one that I have. It's the one I have. There it is. So actually, let's minus that. Minus 30 equals. So right now it's going for 26 with a 15% discount. So you're getting it for, let's say we're getting it for $22. So plus 22. So $591, still not at the halfway point for this. This is the one I got because it's got the little springs on it. Okay. Yeah, no, I mean it's great. It's exactly what I needed. I didn't want anything that shot up into the air because, as you can see, this desk area is not set up for that, and I don't want it to be set up for that. Highly recommend it. There's not a lot I can say about it. It's a boom arm for your microphone. This holds the microphone well, and the mic that I currently have is the. I'll come to that one later. Saves a lot of money. Great sound. But it does a great job. And sure, it doesn't hide the cables. And I'm fine with that. I like having a more tech look. I like wires that not necessarily hanging, but that are there. I guess you could say I was raised off the movie Brazil back in the 80s. It was obviously as a kid, it was one of our favorite movies. And so I have Terry Gilliam aesthetics when it comes to wiring, because I like wires everywhere. And, it's not like it's messy. It does give you a couple of Velcro ties in order to keep your XLR cable down or whatever you're using. So, all right, on to the next, because that's definitely buy, and we're still not at the halfway point when it comes to that. So let's see what we got. Oh yeah. This is the microphone case for this microphone. I have 4 of these. You don't need, if you're just a single live streamer, then you don't need 4 of them. And let's see. Oh yeah. The Bringer. Is it? Yeah, no, I guess that would be Bringer BA85A. And let's go ahead and switch. And comes in a nice little case. You can see it's not here. Comes with a adapter to mount to your boom arm or whatever, or mic stand. Great buy. These were only, let's see. Let me bring these back up again. Like I said, it's been a couple of days since I went ahead and got this. So look at that. It's on sale. Wow. Is this the one? Yeah, no, this is the one I got. I don't remember which one I got. Huh. I'll have to figure that one out in a bit. This is, let me, 2 of these. Hopefully that wasn't too obnoxious. Yes. Wow. It's on sale. So I would highly recommend getting this particular mic. And the Bringer BA85A, $13.90. So we're gonna make that $14. 1.4 equals 605. You're listening to it right now, and while there's certain things if you compare it to the Shure SM58 or whatever, it's pretty darn close. It has, as you could tell, great quality for $13. I mean, you can't expect it to match something that costs several $100s, or whatever, however much that one's going for right now. But for cost to quality, outstanding. With the, I use this. I have a Mackie mixer that I use this with, but in this case, this goes into a USB interface that has XLR inputs, and I use OBS to denoise and to add a 3-band EQ, and I think it sounds fantastic. I mean, if you're on a budget, you can't go wrong with this. It is, it looks good. It feels good in your hand. It's got a all metal build. Yeah, no, $13 or $14 compared to, let's see, what's the Shure going for? What's the Shure that everybody gets? SHURE. Ah, see, wrong keyboard. Shure SM. We'll do, everyone praises the 58, but I know the new ones are these guys. So, but let's bring up the 58. And so you're looking at $100 compared to $13. How much extra sound are you going to be getting by getting the 58? And I like the 58. Don't get me wrong. I was I worked for a company doing AV, and this was our go-to mic for groups and meetings, and it was rock solid. It worked every time. It sounded great every time. But so does this, and for $14. So you can't go wrong. I recommend it. And like I said, I bought 4 of these. So for 4 of them at $14 a piece, you're looking at $52, $56, half the cost of just one of the SM58s. And obviously, if you go, that's the low end. The Shure SM58 is the low end of the food chain for that, and it just goes up from there. And I think, what is the current one that everyone seems to be, screaming for right now? It's this guy, isn't it? The MV7 for almost $300. Okay, whatever. I'm on a budget, so I'm not going to be getting that. I'm going to be getting the Bringer and tweaking it a little bit in order to make it sound fantastic. And I think that's just what this does. Now, if there is any audio difficulties in my productions, it's because I'm crappy at doing audio. I always have been. I've been more of a videographer than a audio technician, and it shows. I find doing audio to be tedious. I just want to plug it in and go, and it doesn't always work out that way. But once you have it set up, then it'll be like that forever. So $14, absolutely worth it. And we're just now at the halfway point in comparison to Rode. We've got 2 switchers, we've got a mic, we've got a mini PC, and let's continue. So what will be the next? Now I love the Osee producer from Mackie 2x2. It just works. It is this little guy right here is what this particular mic is feeding into. Let me go ahead and switch. So this mic The other mic that I have, because for this station right here, it's just for a 2-person setup. So 2 people could talk on mic and do interviews or talk straight to it like I'm doing right now. Great buy. This thing, I've got these 2 mics going in, and it's a USB interface, so that USB goes out into my PC, which of course, you know, the OBS recognizes it, and it sounds great. It looks great. It has lights, not colorful lights, which is probably why it's not as popular as some of the others, because it doesn't seem to have, you know, if you're a technician, it's perfect. It looks like it came out of an industrial park. It is, well, might as well just bring it up right here, huh? And like I said, look at that. 2 XLR in, and then let's go for the back. You got headphones coming in, and why did it just show me the same image from the front? It is USB going out to your PC, which is also nice, and it just works. Okay, in the back you have MIDI. I would never touch it. I don't do anything like that. You can do 1/4 inch out, which is also good. But this was the main star, and you don't need an external power supply. It gets its power from your PC. Yeah, highly recommend it. And let's see what. Let's go see what the cost is. Now, other comparable. Let's copy that. Paste. So $64, $65 for this guy. Other comparable ones go for, you know, I wouldn't get that one. Let's see. Eesh. I guess I would compare it to the Scarlett or the other popular audio interfaces that are out there. And if you're not an audio guy, if you're not an audio tech, these things sound great. If you're just a normal person who wants to get their audio, plug it in and go, these things are perfect for you. And the cost of $65 is well within the budget. You know, remember, we're trying to set up this video, I guess, is the main thing is just, you know, setting up a live streaming studio for the, you know, as close to $1,200 for one Rode video switcher. I guess it's Rodecaster video switcher or whatever. It's doable, and if you know, you can have so many more tools by going this route and still get the same 1080p output as the Rode is going to produce. And we'll take a look at the Rode at the end of this. You know, just because, you know, I keep bagging on it. It's good, but I keep bagging on it. Anyway, I would show you it physically, but I am using the Osee producer. I bought 2 of these, one for this setup and one for my main tech table. And yeah, no, it's plug and play. It just works, and it works really well, really well. So yeah, oh, okay. So what do we got next? This mess. Okay, so this is an okay buy. You don't necessarily need this because you already have, let me go ahead and paste. Because you already have audio. But if you want to be more free and not constrained to your, you know, a boom arm and because you can eliminate the price of the boom arm and this mic if you just get this, which is I like to say Comica, but it's probably not that. It's Comica Boom XUQUA 4-channel UHF, and So this baby right here, it is, let's see, 1 receiver, 4 transmitters, wireless, comes with lav and all internal batteries, rechargeable, should last you several years. This thing, it goes for $251. And I'm gonna copy. Whoops. Let's go over here. 51. Oh, of course I did that wrong. So we had 605 and then plus 251. Now I'm going to include this because while I have a smaller setup here in this station, it is nice to be able to have an option to bring some extra people in on your shoots. And I don't want to have to run, well, one, I don't have another mixer in line here to run more XLR microphones. So having a wireless kit to me is necessary. And price to quality, this thing is a might as well UHF, so you're not taking up that valuable 2.4 gigahertz that every single other device in this room seems to use. It works well. You do have to tweak it more so than an XLR mic in order to get good audio. But let's say I have in the studio, I want to throw in 2 more people, and I could just mic them up because I can go directly into my M2 switcher with this guy, with the, I'm just going to say the Boomax QUA. So you could go straight in. Yeah, there we go. Let's go ahead and bring this up like that. You can go straight into your, in this case, I'm using the Osee M2 video switcher. So this would go straight in and it works great. You can use OBS in order to EQ it. Plus you can adjust the gain on, on the device itself. So it works. It just works and it works well. Yeah, like I said, it comes with its own lav, and they sound pretty good. I wouldn't say it's the cleanest audio that I've used, but for the cost, for the value that you're getting from this thing, I think it's totally worth it. The battery is about 6 hours on this, and I did find one thing I don't like is you can't have power plugged into it at the same time, at least not for the receiver, because the USB the power is dirty and it will cause interference and this sound. I tried different USB cables, but it's the same effect every single time. So when you're using it, you do have only 6 hour time period in order to use it in. But for the most part, you shouldn't need to use, you're not Joe Rogan. Even Joe Rogan doesn't do a 6 hour podcast. So great sound, great value. Yeah, I recommend it. I don't have a lot to say because, it's just 4 wireless transmitters and 1 receiver on the UHF. Almost a 400-foot range. Not sure why you would care about that because no one ever uses wireless 400 feet away. Yeah, it's great. And I like that it's not on the 2.4 gigahertz spectrum. Highly recommend it. There are better ones out there, though. Don't get me wrong. Looking back, I would have gotten the DJI Mic 2, which it's at some point I'll talk about that as well. This does not have 32-bit float or internal recording, which is another negative, but I never use the internal recording on the DJI Mic 2 for the most part, unless I'm using it with something like the Insta360 Go 3S. Then you would need to, in order to get better audio from that device, you would need to use the internal mic on the Mic 2. Yeah, it's great. I love it. It's one of my favorites, and for $250 right now, we're just up to $856 compared to the $1,200 for the Rode video switcher. And on to the next one. Did I toss that? This one I'm going to keep, though. I don't know why I need to keep the case for that. You can pretty much throw these mics around the Bringer 58 or 85. Okay, now I love shotgun mics. I do some shooting, and some of let's say some of the guests don't like. I'm not going to include this in the cost because this was just something that I enjoyed getting. I think this is a great mic, and I want to get a hold of the latest version. This one is the VM30 from Kamika, and they're coming out with the VM40. This mic is fantastic. It sounds great, and I actually used to use it instead of this, but I really wanted to put the XLR mics into use and didn't want to rely on wireless the entire time. And this thing rocks. It is one of my. It's just a fun mic, and if you're out and about and you're shooting, it's great. It works great. It's just a joy. I can't recommend this one enough. And let's go ahead and go to the Amazon page for this. So this is the Kamika CVM VM30. It's one of the 2.4 gigahertz. I've never had any problems with my 2.4, interference, despite so many of my devices being 2.4 gigahertz. But there will come a time. Anyway, this thing's beautiful. It works. It sounds great. The case it comes in, you have, your regular foam cover. You have the cat. You have connectors for our regular 3.5 and for TRS and TRRS. Adapter for microphone stand. This is the transmitter. Like I said, this is just extra. I'm not going to include this into the cost like the other wireless kit, but yeah, this is everything that comes in a thing. So for the cost, let's see. Let me go ahead and put this in here one more time. So $189, and I've seen it down to when it was the recent Prime Day, it was like $129. It was a good price. I have two of these. They're very versatile. I've used them outside the studio and inside the studio. They pretty much are close to being as plug and play for good quality sound as you can get. The battery lasts a good 5-6 hours when you're using it wirelessly. It lasts way longer. I can't remember, like 30 hours if you're using it wired, because this does have a 3.5 out as well. So you can, if you're really that desperate to keep power on it, which I don't know why you would. Highly recommend it. It is a great buy, and I don't have a lot more to say about it because it's really not in our list. So what are we coming up with next? Okay, so when I first started, this was my first audio interface. Because I just thought I wanted to get something and go. Now as an adult, I learned my lessons and I upgraded my mixer. However, if you're on a budget, and I picked this up for, I think it was like $99 on Amazon because it was on sale. The Maono Caster. Oh, might as well. Okay, so this is the Maono Caster AU100 K1. So this was a complete kit, which came with I won't say it's a great sounding mic, but it was so sensitive that you couldn't use it. If I just tap my desk like this away from the mic, you can hear everything going up through it. It just had no, it wasn't cool. So sounds great, but you can't use it. And it came with a stand, whatever. This little thing, I liked it. It was pretty close to plug and play. Let me go ahead and switch this. So if you do find this for less, let me go ahead and. I'm not going to include this in the cost of the thing because there's a different mixer that I think is well, I don't think, I know it's better. But so right now this kit goes for $199. And let's see if it's on sale anywhere. I think it's last year's model, so they've kind of taking it out of the mix. Okay, so still on sale here. So this is pretty much plug and play. And it's what you'd expect. I mean, I wouldn't call this a mixer. It's more of an audio interface because it does do USB out to your computer as an audio interface. And it has 2 XLR inputs. And let's see, does it show the back end anywhere on this sucker? Yep, okay. So starting from this side, you have two USB inputs. You have one auxiliary, which is shared with one of the XLR inputs, which was fine. You have a mic input. You have a phone input and a auxiliary input. And then you have some audio out, and then for your monitor out. So it's pretty comprehensive for this little cheap device that came with a mic and a mic stand, and it comes with an XLR. It's good. It also has a noise switch. What is it called? It just eliminates the noise from your microphones. So let's say I plug this mic in and I have a slight hiss. It cleans it up. And it sounds great. It was easy to put in line. It does do tricks. Like I said, I don't consider this to be a mixer. It's more of just an interface. But you can control the XLRs to a little bit, volume-wise. And then it does have 48-volt phantom power, which is great. You can control the volume for all your inputs and mix your sources. You can change your pitch. So, like I said, it does tricks. So you can, it makes you sound like a female, I guess, a robot. Deepens your voice. It makes you sound like you're in a church. Makes you sound like you're in a hall. It has, other, these buttons which have sound effects. And you can program, I think, 4 of these buttons or 2 of these buttons with some more sounds. Yeah, it's okay. If you're really going the budget route and you need that mic USB interface that has a few extra, because the Osee doesn't have, you know, extra inputs, you know, one for a phone and, you know, one auxiliary. It just has two XLRs or 2/4 inches, one or the other. This, it's a little bit bigger. It just works and it does its tricks. And I would say get it if you're on a super budget. Don't expect miracles from the mic, and make sure whatever surface you're on does not, you know, push sound through, because it picks up too much sound. But you could always get it with two of these mics. Let's say you get the mixer itself, because I think you can get the mixer by itself for, I don't know, $99 or something like that. And, you know, plug these two in, plus your phone for music in the background, plus, you know, another input if you have a mini PC or whatever. It's worth it. I would recommend it. Expect, you know, traditional audio guys to laugh at you if you have it, but that's okay. I mean, you know, it's your system and you're on a budget, so you got to do what you got to do. So, all right, let's see what we got next. Ah, my favorite. This is like unboxing Christmas for Christmas that I already have. So I recommend this mixer. I love this mixer. It takes a little bit of understanding. There's comprehensive videos out there for the Mackie. Ooh, I should turn this right side up. For the Mackie ProFX 10 Volume 3. Now 10 means 10 inputs. You've got 4 XLRs. You've got 1/4 inch inputs. You have a PC input, and those are shared, but that's fine. I mean, you learn how to work with everything, and it does USB out to your computer as an audio interface. So you don't need an audio interface. You don't need an Osee, because you can get this, which is 264. Absolutely great buy. Let's go ahead and throw this over here. Anything in this, and make sure. I'll keep that. So let's go ahead and switch this. So this is 264. Let's see if it's on sale. Copy. All right, so you can get it right now for $269 with a 5% coupon. So we're going to just do 269. So plus 269 equals. So $1,100, $1,125 so far for all our items. And this mixer is absolutely beautiful. Let's go ahead and bring this guy up. So like I said, you have your XLR inputs, you have line in, you have, you know, other line ins over here, you have effects, you have option for a foot switch. I'm not a musician, so I would never use that. You have your PC input right here, which is, 3.5, whatever, 1/8 inch. You have two options for your outputs. You have XLR outputs or 1/4 inch. You can send a control room. You can send your FX. This is for your headphones. Monitoring. Yeah, this is a mixer. This is a great mixer. You have your EQ, your gain, your EQs, your FXs. You can pan it. Great buy. If you compare this audio that you're getting for just $265 or whatever to the Rode video switcher with its, I think it's, what is it? Is it 1 or 2 XLR? And then you can also hook up their wireless kit to it. But you can hook up, I can plug in my wireless kit into this. I can plug in 4 of these mics using the XLR. absolutely worth it. Everything's worth it on this thing for $265, and we're still under the cost of what it would take to we're under the cost of the video switcher, the Rode video switcher. And what do we got? We got switchers, we've got computers, and I know what I guess there's one more item that we need. Maybe two, because see, you can use that mini PC for your OBS. Don't expect much, but if you're doing 1080p output and you're not putting overlays and effects, and you're keeping your streams very, one-on-one kind of thing, talking, then we're already up to a complete kit right here for live streaming at around $1,000, $1,100 right now. Let's see what else we got here. Yeah, different angle. Don't know why we need different angle. Let's go to the back. Back is very. What's great is this has has an on and off switch. Some mixers do not, which is kind of absurd to me, but whatever. I'm sure cutting costs. Regular. Is it 12-volt? In here's your USB. So this goes straight in. I just take this straight into my main PC for my other tech desk over there, and it works. It works great. The OBS recognizes it as a USB interface. I'm able to control the audio. Not only do I have the power of the mixer itself, but I also have the built-in audio filters from OBS, and it's a win-win. I highly recommend getting that versus getting one that's built into a Rode Rodecaster video switcher. Yeah, and for $265, absolutely worth it. And it comes with some free software. If you're into making music, it's actually really nice. It's a really good device, and definite buy. I have it in the system. I'm currently using it on a daily basis, and that's it for that. Enough rambling for that. So these are extras that I found pretty useful. I have a very small space. I think it's like maybe 12 by 14, and I have a lot of equipment in here. I have multiple cameras, multiple lights, things like that. That's another thing that I forget to add on there, but we'll bring that up. So I'm using several of these, and I'm not going to include this in the cost because obviously you just need a desk to put your laptop down or whatever. But I recommend the Wally laptop desk tray, and $38, $10 coupon. You can mount your laptop right onto it, swivel it around, get it off the desk. Currently, let's see. You know what? Let's go ahead. I'm going to disconnect, and then we're going to. You're going to see a little bit of my studio. It may or may not be dirty. So that is it. Let's go ahead and go back. So this is the monitor mount. This one's 2 arms. This is still about, I think this was $30 or $38 or whatever. I got my PC on here that I'm using for the OBS. I have a little spare monitor. I have all sorts of things tied to it. Underneath, this allows me to get this stuff off of my desk. And now underneath, I have a splitter. I have the mini PC. I have the Mackie producer, the Osee producer, and headphones, that kind of stuff. Let's go back. That's one thing about the OBS bot is you should be able to remember where you had it and then goes to it. So great buy. I recommend it. Not necessary, but I'm going to say it's actually necessary. So we're going to put this in here for 35. So plus 35 equals. Like I said, I think it's necessary if you have the desk for it. For me, it just worked out. So let's see. What would be the next one? Actually, let's go to the monitor. Sorry. All right. So I did not look this up before, but you can get these monitors, USB. Okay. You can always find these for, I usually pay about $60 for these. So I'm going to include one of these in here. It doesn't matter which one you get. I think I actually have this one. So I have this UPerfect 15-inch portable monitor. This particular one came with a full-size HDMI. Most of them come with the HDMI micro. Horrible connection, but it works. I think I picked this one up for about $60, and they're all the same. This is, this particular one that I have is here, which is just like the other, does 1080p, which is all I need because I'm going to be streaming, or I need this to come out from the new mini PC. It's just a portable monitor, USB powered. Nothing special about it, and I'm going to say that this is necessary because I think you can do everything off of one screen, but it's good to have dual screen, because that allows you to extend your desktop so you can do more things with it. So I'm going to say buy 63. And Amazon is filled with these. I mean, there's clearly one company that makes these particular kinds of monitors, and then the other companies just license from it, or buy the monitors and slap their logos on it, because they're all almost identical in what they do. So it doesn't really matter. Just get one that people seem to like. And, I don't think you should get one that has 0 reviews or whatever on Amazon, but you should get one that most people buy. Yeah, there's not a lot you could say about it. It's okay. Let's bring up some stuff. So this one, and they all have this same thing on the side. They have, a button. This one's a little different. It has a brightness up and down. Why you would need that instead of just keeping the menu. Most of them just have the volume, and then they have a power, and they have a menu. This one has mini HDMI, USB. Again, pretty typical. Usually nothing on the back. Some of these have the Versa mount. I would go for one with that, so that way you can mount them on an arm. But for $60, it's a simple, easy buy that I think is kind of necessary if you're going to be doing your streaming. Also, I'm not putting a PC in this. Just want to let people know that while I am, bringing up the cost of everything on figuring out how much it costs for a live streaming studio, I'm not going to include the cost of a PC, because at this point, if you don't already have a computer, then you haven't even started your journey to live stream. So you can use any computer. You can get a second mini PC and have too many PCs, or just the one that I showed earlier. And you don't need much to live stream. And as I always say, the best live streaming device is already in your pocket. It's your phone. Okay, yeah, sure, whatever. But that's not, that's fine. But I have a studio. I don't need that. And a lot of people do have a studio, and they're not interested in using their phone to live stream from, like I am. I guess maybe I create a studio because I'm more of a controlled tech guy. I did read a book, E-Myth. E-Myth is a book. I highly recommend it, but it talks about there being 3 types of people when it comes to a business. Starting a business. You get the tech, which is what I am. You have the entrepreneur, which is what I want to be. And then you have the manager, which I have no idea how to get there because I haven't even gotten to put my hand up so I can follow me. I haven't even gotten to the entrepreneur part. I keep getting stuck like I am right now. I'm talking about this equipment because it makes me feel comfortable because I'm a tech guy. I need to be the entrepreneur. So I'm trying to merge the two, and maybe by discussing this stuff, I am merging the two. At least that's the thought. Read the book E-Myth. It's great. Pick up a couple of these when you need them. The external monitor. There's nothing in this case. At least I hope not. This particular one, UPerfect, did come with a lot of cables, and that I liked. I appreciated it quite a bit. So, yeah. Looks like I just stuffed a lot of trash in here and forgot about it. My original idea for the channel was to do reviews, but I don't think that's something I really want to do. Okay, so that guy over there. And like I said, this is the one I was just, yeah. This one is a great monitor. I completely forgot that I bought it. I thought I bought a different one. I actually picked this up for $49, so this goes down under $50 a lot. And it's in line on my other computer, and it is great. Except it didn't come with a lot of cables. I think it came with a really short HDMI cable that I could not use. That monitor did have some issues, though. Yeah. I mean, seriously. These cables, these are like kiddie cables. I guess they're 3 feet. Nice HDMI cable, or USB cable. Yeah. So, for about $50, worth it to get external out on your monitor. And just to let anybody know, in case you're still here an hour and 18 minutes later after I started this podcast, I have had 0 drop frames. And definitely, I had restarted when I was having drop frames on the previous one, the previous stream that I started doing this. It had 70% drop frames. So I went into the wizard and I set up the wizard. Actually, I restarted the computer. And then I went into the wizard on OBS and told it I wanted to do streaming and to optimize my PC and the YouTube for streaming at 1080, 30 frames a second. And yeah, not a single drop frame. So pretty nice. And I'm using the AT&T Air for my office internet. And so far it's great. In the morning with less people on there, I had, downloads of 500 megabits per second and uploads of 100 megabits per second. So pretty good quality there. And it's $65 a month. Okay, so what is next? Oh, this was the box for the laptop tray. Finally, I could throw it in the trash. I've kept all these boxes because I planned on doing reviews, product reviews, but I find I don't really want to do product reviews like that. So we've got, to go back over what we got, we've got two video switchers. You really only need one, so I could take one of them off the cost of this, and that's what I'm going to do. So we're going to take the M2 out of the equation because you only need one switcher. So minus 105. So right now we have our video switcher, we have a mini PC, we have a microphone, we have external monitor, we have a beautiful mixer, we have well, basically that's two USB interfaces in order to live stream. And we're still not at the cost of one Rodecaster video switcher. So bite me, Rode. What's the next? Lighting. You need some kind of lighting. I'm sorry, but lighting is another thing that's a little bit of a mystery to me. I'm a videographer. I just want the lights to come to turn on and go. But I know you need to adjust things. Like in here, I do have two older lights that I'm using, but I would recommend for the newcomer here, because it's kind of a all-in-one case, the Viltrox. Let's see. Yeah, the Viltrox K60. 2-pack. Absolutely great lights. I think the battery lasts, if I run them at half power, the battery will last pretty close to 5 hours, 4 or 5 hours, which is great for this. They're 20 watts. This 2-pack, let's go ahead and switch, is, and I've seen the price down to $129. Okay, paste. Let's see what it's currently going for. Okay, so 159. So we're going to do plus on this, plus 159. So finally, we are $1,277. So we've matched the cost of one video switcher that only does 1080p out. Insane. And that's not including its 8% discount, which whatever that would be. So it'd be like 140 or something like that, or 139. Yeah, this is the Viltrox K60 2-pack. It comes with, which is nice. You have a couple of barn doors for it, I guess. You know, it cuts the light and it makes the light direction. They're pretty typical. There's nothing really here to explain about these lights that you probably don't know. 20 watt. Let's see, almost 2,000 milliamp battery, RGB, CRI, whatever. You won't care about that. It does 2,500 to 8,500 Kelvin, which just means either the light's more blue or it's more warm, you know, more orange. I have a little bit of a mix of both. Great buy. One, you know, that's, what was it? 160 and 150, 159. You can't go wrong. And you can get away with your studio, but you know, granted, I prefer to have a third light, and you can buy one of these separately, or you could buy a smaller key light, which is probably what I should check on. I'll add that to cost in a second because I'm using another light that's not a Viltrox. God, their ads are so stupid. Okay, whatever. It also, you can control it using an app, which is great. So I can change the color from here. I'm not going to set it up right now because everybody's using an app at this point, so why would I do that? Yeah, I kind of necessary. That would give you one fill light and one key light, and then one fill light or backlight. Just something to add color to your set. And it's a 2-pack. It's $159, worth the cost. So I would recommend buy. And you know what I forgot to add for cameras? I guess what we're doing is matching the cost, because the Rodecaster video switcher is $1,200, and that doesn't include cameras. So I'm not going to include cameras in the cost of this. I'm going to give some recommendations on what cameras to use. And let me go back. Hey. Let me go back to me. So let's look at this. What do we get? We have video switcher, we have audio, we have mixers, we have lights, we have mini PC, we have portable monitors for $1,200. What was it? $1,277 for all of that. And that is so much better than one video switcher that has, that reminds me, I was going to bring up the Rode real quick. Video switchers, WITCHER. I want to stay signed out. And usually we just go to Rode switcher. I know you're there. Come on. All right, we'll just go to B&H for this. So it's the Rodecaster video all-in-one video console. Okay, so I showed you how much equipment that you can get for the cost of this thing. This thing is $1,200. So you can have a complete studio that's going to be with you, and some of the equipment you can upgrade any component. This thing, they say it's all-in-one. Let's go back. There we go. And I am going to... Come on. Open up. Accept all cookies. Okay, so it's nice. I mean, it's missing buttons, because digging through a menu every time I want to do something is inconvenient. It's not necessary. And granted, it allows you to connect when you have it connected to a PC. You expand the capabilities, so that's great. What if I don't want to? What if it's just a standalone thing that I want to use? You can see right here, I would have to dig through this menu, which has one freaking button right here to go through it. And is this touchscreen? I'm pretty sure it is, but why? Why is this? I mean, this is just for, to me, this was made to look pretty in someone's system. And really, we should just go to the back, because there's nothing on the front. It's missing buttons. I can't control the audio, at the touch my finger, unless I get into the menu. So this has 2 XLR inputs, 1/4 inch. I'm not sure if you can use that at the same time as the XLR. You have audio out. And like I said, I know it allows you to attach your wireless kit to it, but is it wireless itself? I'm not 100% sure. You have 2 HDMI out, 4 HDMI in, just like the other mixer, minus the 2 XLR inputs. You have input for webcam, or your DJI Pocket or whatever, which is great, just like on the other one, and a couple of other things that allow you to connect this and that. And to me, this is pretty basic. And for $1,200, it does 1080 at 60, which is why? How? Why would you do that? And I don't know. I'm sure it's great, and I'm sure it works nice because Rode makes nice products. But for the cost, you could have so much more. I mean, to me, let's see. So here's the extra. Let's say this is what the Osee GoStream is, let's say, $300, and the Mackie mixer that I have, the Mackie ProFX 10 V3. Stupid name. Together, that is $550 or so, compared to the Rode's $1,200 price. Which the Rode, that gives you 10 inputs. This gives you 2 studio grade XLR. Well, I would hope they're studio grade. I mean, what is that? So 2 XLR inputs. They're hybrid, 1/4 inch. Okay, everybody does that. Okay, got low noise, high gain resolution preamps. Okay, are the preamps good? I haven't heard them, but I'm sure they are. Digital USB-C port to connect Rode USB microphone. And internal wireless, yes. So it does have the wireless receiver, so you could connect the Rode Series 4 wireless microphones, like the Wireless Go 2 and the Wireless Pro. You have a little extra on your computer, mix and process. So very limited. I mean, it has audio abilities, but to me, that's very limited compared to my Mackie. Automatic chroma keying, all of them does it. Intelligent auto switching, most of them do that. Not a big deal. Matter of fact, your OBS will do that as well. So definitely not a big deal. Intuitive streaming and recording, stream up to 100 megabits directly, blah, blah, blah. All of them seem to do that. Rode Central. Okay. So it's a mixer with a little bit of audio connected to it, with a minimal amount of buttons for you to actually use. You have to dig through a menu or dig through software in order to actually, do what you need to do. I mean, $1,200 for this? Really? And so far, let's go to the YouTubies. I got the wrong one. I meant to use the other keyboard. Like I said, okay. And then I want to just do a little bit of. Now let's go down and look at all the people singing the praises of this overpriced 1080p switcher. So, Tom Buck, yeah, I like him well enough. He's been doing it for a while, so everybody sends him stuff. He's never critical about it. I haven't seen any criticism, particularly cost, the value aspect. Typical ATEM killer. No, it's not. Yeah, I mean, 12 new features all in one. You probably don't want to. Let's not say here because I'm not going to go through the YouTube. So you clearly know my thoughts on it. I'm here to maximize. I don't have a lot of money to spend. Matter of fact, I'm quite poor. So if anyone wants to send me any money, feel free and do that. I need to maximize my value, and the Rode switcher doesn't have value to me. Not when I can have an entire studio equipped to output to 1080p versus buying one piece of equipment that has two XLR inputs into it, you know. So now for recommendation. So now that you have everything all set up, you still need a camera. The Rode doesn't give you a camera. So I'm going to give you a recommendation for cameras. And you're going to think, well, that's kind of weird because that's not the FX. Let's do Sony FX. Yes, it's the FS6 FX. They have their okay, FX30. Been out of the loop with that. Okay. So we have cameras. And I always love it when I'm in a studio setting and someone's using a $3,000 camera, a $2,000 camera. And here's looking at you, Sony FX30. And they're beautiful cameras. Unless you're already, flush with money, why would you? I mean, there's no reason to get into this. So the Sony FX30, well, you could pick it up for $1,600 renewed. But that doesn't include, if you want to include a lens in it, 35 millimeter cinema lens. Now, this is just to give you a blurry background. I mean, the quality's there. You've got the blurry background, shallow depth of field, that kind of stuff. But it's really expensive. So what I recommend is online, you have a lot of these. You have the Panasonic, things like the Panasonic 870 4K camcorder. It has micro HDMI out, which is fine. I actually have one here, which I have hooked up to a Shimbal wireless transmitter. Great buy. This was $89. I think I picked it up for $79 on Amazon. This little camera has a studio camera and is just one beautiful big lens. Let's go see. It's pretty much plug and play. The quality's there. You can adjust things. You can adjust it using the Wi-Fi, or go into the touch menu system. But this is one of my studio cameras. I have two of these. You can pick them up cheap for under $300 off of OfferUp. I wouldn't go to Craigslist because Craigslist is pretty much dead. Facebook Marketplace, they show up there. Sony has a line of these as well. I think it's the AX33 or something like that. I don't like it as much. This thing's fantastic. And as you can see, it's just connected to wireless. I could take this anywhere and do what I want. It's all lens. The stabilization is beautiful in here. Not that you would need it if you're in a studio setting. I do have a separate room at this studio that I plan to do interviews or tutorials, that kind of stuff in there. And this little camera would be perfect for it. It has audio input. So if you don't want to go through, if you want the audio going straight, which is a good thing, audio going into the camera in order to go to the switcher because that helps keep everything in sync. This has 3.5-inch input. Battery. This battery on here will last me maybe around 3.5, 4 hours. Most of the time I have it plugged straight into power, which, you know, that's pretty much what you need. Yeah. And like I said, you could pick up a couple of these, the FX renewed $1,600. So you can pick up, if you're using the M2, let's say you're using the four banger Osee GoStream with the 4 HDMI. You're going to have 3 of these for $900 if you and that's on the high end. $300 for these is usually what they go for on OfferUp or Facebook Marketplace. 3 of these and a PC input. And if you have something like a Pocket 3 or an Action 4 or something like that, you can use that. So versatile, worthy. And I take this one on hiking because it weighs, I think, maybe about 12 ounces, not including the battery, of course. And I can zoom up to 1,500 times. I used this when the eclipse was in town a couple of months ago, and I have an ND filter, variable ND filter for it, because it accepts filters because it's got a threaded ring on the front. Worth it in every way. Again, that just goes along with the theme of my budget studio. I guess I'm starting to run out of things to talk about. I've been talking for 1 hour and 40 minutes, which is quite a bit. So this is a long live stream. My connection was rock solid, has been rock solid. The Shimbal wireless transmitter is a recommended buy as well, because I don't always want to run cables from one room to the other. It's plug and play. It just works. I've had no problems with it so far. I recommend it. And like I said, it's $89. You can sometimes pick it up for less, but it sits around $89 and absolutely worth the buy. And let's see. So you actually don't even need this particular camera. You can get one of the Panasonic's 1080, which are still out there. Panasonic 1080. Yeah, I mean, so you can get their 785 for under 500. Great quality, great stabilization. If you go on vacation, the 770 still $499. I would stay away from these because really they're mostly the same chip, or pretty close to the same small half sensor chip that's in the camcorders. Yeah, I mean, totally worth getting, decking your studio out with a couple of camcorders, 4K camcorders. The nice thing about if you stick with 4K, eventually you might want to start streaming in 4K, and so you'll end up switching out your video switcher, which is another thing about Rode. It's 1080, so once you've outgrown the 1080 and you want to produce in all 4K, you've wasted $1,200. I mean, I'm at a loss with that. I mean, it's pretty though. It's a good looking video switcher. So, and it has some pretty software that goes with it, and a pretty big little tiny 1.5-inch screen or 2-inch screen or whatever it is on the device itself. I would have get the RGB link before that. Let's see. I guess that's about it. I do have one more thing, and so the cost of this came up to $1,277. And let's see. Let me go ahead and bring. So the cost of this came up to $1,277, which is great. That's how much you're paying for the equipment. But there's one thing that these people, I wonder if you heard that, but there's one thing that most of the reviewers completely avoid talking about, and it's called cables. Cables, cables, cables. Everything needs a cable. And oftentimes, it needs multiple cables. It's crazy the amount of cabling that I've had to deal with in this. And I know about cabling. I not only did I take a class on how to run a system, from start to finish, because it is a skill, but I was an audio video technician. So, you have your cabling is your HDMI, your USB, your regular power, 12-volt power, your USB to 5-volt, which I can't believe they still make those. XLR, headphones, which I forgot to include headphones, but you can pretty much go out and get a cheap $10 set of headphones if you really want to do live streaming on a budget. I bought this, which isn't necessarily noise canceling, but they're nice and beefy. I don't remember the brand, but I paid like $50 for them, and completely worth it. Worthy investment. Let's see. On top of the cabling, you have adapters. And I would say the number one problem in this entire process, other than the audio, because I hate doing audio, has been cabling. I bought so many cables because everything needs an HDMI, and then everything needs a micro HDMI, and then some things need a mini HDMI, and then some things that take HDMI, because I have HDMI over Ethernet that I'm using in one case, because I thought it would be fun to get it. But then that requires power as well. So that needs HDMI A to HDMI C. And then you find out that not all, that needs USB A to USB C. Then you find out that not all USB are created the same. Like I said earlier, when I had originally gotten the Osee M2 switcher, the HDMI cable, after doing some troubleshooting, was the problem. And so I had to go back online and buy $15 USB 60 watt or 100 watt USB cable. And then the length of cables, because you'll get these mini ones that come in the package with the product that are unusable. So you need to buy different ones, and or longer ones. And then sometimes you need a 3-foot, but that 3-foot needs a 6-foot, but they only sold the 5-foot, or they say they're 6-foot, but I really doubt that they're 6 foot tall, because they seem to be short. The cables, the HDMI cables, are shorter than me, but they're labeled as 6 foot, and I'm 5'10" or whatever. It's just crazy. And like I said, USB has been a pain, because out of all the cables, it seems to me like the majority of the USB cables are cheaply made. I've had more USB fail than any other cable in my system. Yes, I mean it's crazy how many cables, because I've spent a couple $100 on just cable, more than a couple $100. I mean, I'd go through a list, but then I'd probably shock myself into if I actually knew the actual amount. And then it's not just cables you need power strips, because let's take this little setup that I showed you earlier right here. So I have a monitor up front, I have a PC, I have HDMI splitter, I have the mini PC, all those need power, and of course the power strips, the direction of the inputs aren't quite right, so you need more than one power strip. And then they have USB, but not all USB on power strips are the same. So you need multiple power strips. And then you need a power strip over here, because obviously this one's not going to reach. Then you need one back there. Then you got the main tech desk over there, which needs 1, 2, 3, 4, because there's, from right here, I'm looking at the mixer, the laptop, the lights, the transmitter, the monitors, the video switcher, more lights, the pocket, the 7-inch monitor, the DesView monitor, which is best view monitor, which are great monitors, and that runs through, and it all adds up. Every cable that I have in here is anywhere between, I would say, $8 and $30, and it just, yeah. And then of course you have, I forgot, you need some tripods, and you can get away with the cheap $20 tripod, because if you're in a studio setting, you're not going to be moving it around, and so I mean, that's not a big deal. But I have a lot of tripods now, and stands for lighting. You can get the cheap lighting stands. They'll do you well enough until they fall apart, because I've actually had some of those fall apart. Not as many as the USB cables that all die. Then there's the adapters. Everything needs an adapter of some sort. Let's look at the Pocket 3 that I have over there. I have it coming out, and I'm using it as a webcam, for the tech desk. And so it has a adapter that goes in, which is a rectangle, and then that rectangle has power going into it, plus a USB going out, so that USB can go into the video switcher. So I'm looking at 2 cables plus an adapter, 2 adapters that go with that. So that's four pieces for just one port. And then in some case you need 90-degree adapters. You need adapters, mini USB-C to USB-A adapters, HDMI, full-size HDMI to mini HDMI or micro HDMI adapters. And not all adapters are created the same either. And not all devices like having adapters in line with the HDMI cable. Audio cable, that's another issue, because not all 3.5 millimeter cables are the same at all. I found XLR is pretty consistent, no matter whether it's cheap or expensive. It's not like I'm, running around with XLR cables, so I don't expect them to go bad. 1/4 inches, those have a tendency to work or not. They do seem to have more interference, so I would recommend getting the more expensive ones. What else do I got over there? Yeah, I guess that's about it. I know this one was long, and I'm going to end it here. As you can see, $1,200, you could deck out your entire place. And you can actually even get this stuff cheaper than $1,200 if you don't mind buying renewed and things like that, or even getting, if you don't need a full-size switcher for $300, then you can get the M2 for about $100. So that's $200 less. So that actually takes you down to $1,077, which that extra $200 that you have, or $130, can go toward cabling. Very simple, as well as black tape in order to tape things down to the floor, because you don't want people tripping over on your cables. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. Now I get to throw out some boxes that I wanted to. And this, I'm just contemplating whether or not I should continue this just for a little bit more because I kind of want to throw all these boxes out. And I'm hungry. Huh. It's like almost breakfast time. So maybe I'll save this for later. This is just the. No, I won't save it for later. This is the City Pier. The heck is the name of this company again? Ooh, it comes with a little XLR cable. This is just a 25-watt light LED. It's nice. It's actually what I'm using right here, right now. It comes with a gel. It comes with a silicone diffuser, and it allows me to get up close because this is just one little thing for me. Hold on a second. For some reason, okay, done and done. You can pick this up. I picked this up for $28. This little thing, along with the two LEDs from Viltrox. Why can't I remember the company? Oh, Zhiyun. Zhiyun CM25. Let's see if it's on here. CM25. Yeah, there we go. Control C. I don't have. Okay. How much is this going for right now? Let's go ahead and take you back up here. So it says it's 59. I picked it up for 28 or something like that. And great little pocket light, great little key light if it's close. Has a built-in battery, but I connected to USB power. Not a big deal. Recommended buy. I mean, I don't have much more to say. If you don't know anything about lighting at this point, particularly the little LED lights that are everywhere on Amazon, then you haven't really decided to do a live stream yet. And for me, this is kind of a perfect studio light. Also on-camera light. Let's say I actually get hired for a shoot, which I used to be a videographer, did a lot of weddings. This would be a good on-camera light. Built-in battery, 2700 to 6200 Kelvin, 2000 milliamp battery. The only thing I didn't like about it is it just has 1/4 inch tripod mount on the bottom, and I thought there should also be one on the side in order to make it more convenient. Great buy, and you can wait and find it on discount at some point. And meet you at Denny's in the Bay. Yes. Yeah, I'm just going to do this in order to get rid of these boxes because I need to throw these things away. And I'm sorry if I keep looking up because I have a monitor here. I got a monitor here. I'm still looking at the drop frames, which says 0, but for whatever reason, the studio live stream says warning. I don't really care. Another good light. I'm not going to do a review on it. There's a lot of these. You can pick them up. I think I picked this one up for $69. I would get the other one instead. At least this one's RGB, which is okay. It's built like a tank. This is the Visi G2. It's good. Not great, but it's good. see if there's something in there. You never have enough XLR cables. Nope. There's a manual, though. Never did look at the manual. Let's throw that over there. Okay. The Docacan Large. I went through another one. I'm going to keep this because I'm going to do another better review on it. I highly recommend, believe it or not, Amazon sells a keyboard that is nice. It's got a great feeling to it. Amazon Basics, it's the rechargeable wireless keyboard mouse combo, ultra slim. I think I picked this up for $39 or something like that. And mouse, nice, sturdy, sleek, good looking. Keyboard, even better, full sized. Good feel to it. I'm sure it's plastic, but it feels like a cold metal for the most part. The keys are nice. I like this. This was a good buy, and it's got a battery built in, so I don't have to keep putting in batteries. Definitely worth it. Let's throw that over there. No, I'm not going to go over. No, I'm not going to bring it up on Amazon right now. You don't need to see this, but I have an iPad Pro 11-inch 2021 with the M1 processor. Great video editing machine, which is what I use it for. I use it with LumaFusion. Anyway, I got a case for it. Generic case. There's several of these out there. It was on sale, I think, for again $39 or something like it. It was something ridiculously cheap. It's okay. I find that it doesn't tilt back enough, but it's magnetic. It keeps things nice and smooth, and I can take it on the go. It's nice and sturdy. It has a RGB backlight that I have no idea how to use sometimes. It just seems to have a mind of its own. Because the keys can become really, really dark. This should have had bigger labeling on it. I wonder if there's a manual in here because I need to see. Nope. I must have tossed it. Ooh, look at that. USB. What is this? This is not something to use. 2 USB for some reason. Okay. Well, enough of that. I can finally throw that one away. Oh my goodness. I think we've been through a lot. Yeah, no, that's great. That I got everything out, got some recommendation. I could throw away those boxes finally that I've been looking at. The next time I'm going to talk about things will be about the mic 2 for the DJI that I use with the Pocket, and a few other small things. Maybe I'll talk about the Shimbal wireless transmitter and receiver. Great buy. You won't find me walking through a field testing the distance on it because I don't care enough about that. Does it make it through walls? Let's say I go into the next room. That's what I care about. So I guess that's it. What else do I got? Nope. Thank you for joining me. My name is Don. I'm starting a YouTube channel, or I've started it, and I'll be producing these on a regular basis or something like it. And I am more interested in doing long form content where I just ramble and talk. So I'll also be doing things like posting to interview people, because I think that would be something that would be of value to people. Interviews that I would like to do are people who are the disillusioned over 50 when it comes to the economy, because we've been through so many crashes and had so much money taken away that, I mean, there's a lot of people my age that, how do we how do we move forward when we don't have anything for retirement? Other questions, I don't know. I'll figure it out this week. So I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you got something out of it. I hope you don't buy the Rode Rodecaster video switcher until taking into consideration your budget and how how these tools will best serve you. So anyway, that's all for now. Thank you for joining me. My name's Don, and I'll talk to y'all later. I need to have that switching screen so that way I can just go straight to a slate saying, goodbye and thank you, because now you're just going to sit here and watch me scramble as I